update for the Nutcracker project we're working on. We've got, last time we talked, I explained the project, what I was trying to do, how I was trying to accomplish it, explained some of the tools I was using. I used SketchUp, I used a small toy Nutcracker to get kind of the scale and the general shape and idea of where I want to go, and then I measured that, put it into SketchUp as a flat 2D object, and I scaled that up to the size that I want. I want it to be about 3 feet tall. It's going to be roughly 37 inches, and that's kind of where it landed to look good. I had to shrink it, had to narrow him up a little bit because it ended up being close to 8 inches around, and I really wanted it more like 6. So I shrank it up to about 6. I then had to fidget with each of the little individual divisions because there was a whole lot of measurements in 64ths. I didn't want to mess around 64ths, and I didn't think we had to have that degree of accuracy and the scale that we were at. I really didn't even input it that. I input it to 16ths and maybe 32nds at the most. So I fidgeted with all the elements a little bit, so now the smallest increment that I have to deal with is a 16th, and since this is all going to be turned on the lathe, it's going to be somewhat freehand anyway, so we're not really even going to get to that probably level of detail. But the important thing is that it matches, it looks good, and the scale is at least close, and we have a guideline. So what I've done, and I'm going to turn the camera on here so you can see it, is there's our guy that we started with. I've got a measured drawing here of the parts. This is the arm, this is the leg, this is the main body. Total height on here, including a little finial at the top, is 23 inches. I've decided I'm going to not put the finial on as part of the initial turning, that I'm going to probably bore a hole at the top here, and I will turn a separate finial and glue it into place after the fact, so I can maybe make it a little bit more detailed, it'll be a little fancier, and it'll be a smaller turning, it'll be easier to work with. Problem I have with this is 23 inches end to end, so even without that finial, we're still close to 22 inches, and I cannot turn 22 inches between centers. Even if I remove the chuck, even between centers, I can't get 22 inches on my lathe. So what I've decided to do is split this turning here where at the neck basically, and turn the top half, the head and the hat in one turning, and the body in another turning. And I'll treat this kind of like a box. I'll make a bit of a tenon in here, and I'll make like a mortise and tenon joint right here, and glue him together. So that way I can do all the turnings on my lathe. Here's a view of the pieces put together without any measurements or drawings on it, kind of just to see how they're all going to fit. I kind of like the way the hand ended up landing in this little pocket. I'm going to have to be mindful that that all works out. So I've got a good joint here at the shoulder where they actually touch, and the hand actually touches the leg and almost touches the body. So there's a lot of opportunities for good bonding here. I haven't dealt with the Nutcracker part itself, you know, the actual swing mechanism. I intend to put that on. I just figure after I get the main turnings down, I can, because it's a split, I'll be able to saw in from the top, because you can kind of see the mouth is right at the head joint, and it doesn't go up into the head at all. So I'll be able to measure this out, mark it, and saw down from the top, and then cut the various pieces I need to after the turning is done here, and then I'll cut another piece to be that mechanism, and I can measure that and kind of scale it to what feels right. Not too worried about that at this point. Another thing I haven't dealt with yet is the shoes. Obviously the base is just a hunk of wood. That's easy enough to do. The shoes are kind of awkward on this because they don't really match up good, probably because this is just a cheap little made in China type of thing probably. So I figure once I get the legs under control, I can figure the feet out. Maybe I'll just make one turning and have it come all the way back here to the heel. Maybe cut a pocket for the leg to sit into. I haven't really decided yet, but if I make one round turning one cylinder, and then I can slice it in half on the bandsaw, and maybe surface plane it to be flat, I can make that feet that way. Haven't quite decided that yet, but plenty of work to do otherwise. Some other things that I've gotten done so far is I picked out wood. I've got these two pieces of wood are gonna be the arms. Not entirely sure what species this is. I thought it was just kind of like a pine. It might be some pine-related tree. It kind of smelled like eucalyptus when I cut it, so I'm wondering if it's related to the eucalyptus, or maybe that was just pine tar. Anyway, I've got these two pieces. These are basically 3" by 3", and they are, see, they need to be 13.5 inches long. I believe I cut them 14.5 inches long, so I have, you know, enough extra length to deal with on the lathe. I'm going to have to glue a couple pieces up for the legs. I didn't have any pieces that were big enough around for the legs, so I got a couple pieces of mahogany. There's a few dings and nail holes. This is all reclaimed wood. So I'll just work on gluing those into the inside, and once I start turning and get them round, if there's still a problem, I can fill those up. So take some shavings and shove them in there, a little bit of CA glue, and we'll be all happy there. So legs, arms, body. Got 2 stacks of mahogany. This is all mahogany. Some, like I said, some reclaimed mahogany. I'll glue. This is roughly 6 inches by 6 inches. The block will be. I will glue it up and shave off the excess on the bandsaw so that it's one big blank. Maybe I'll cut this one down. It's kind of big here, but my intention is on this to glue the middle piece, the bigger piece in the middle of these two, so that it's a little wider capacity when it goes around. So one of these will be the hat and the head. I believe it's the smaller one here, and the slightly longer one will be the main body. So that's what's next. A little bit more shaving work to do here. Cut these guys off a little, maybe to, you know, salvage some of that wood, and then start gluing it up. So don't know if you find these interesting or not. I hope you do. I'm enjoying this process. Like I said, this is a new process for me. I've done a lot of this, you know, woodworking before. I've made a few videos, but I haven't really done the two together. So I'm kind of struggling with the concepts of how much information to show, tool noise, how much detail do I really want to get into. I'm not really trying to do a how-to video. It's more of a, you know, kind of what I'm doing in the shop. And if you guys have any suggestions about what I could do better, more of, less of, let me know. Thank you.